Welcome everyone to our session today with John Fleischauer. And the title of the talk is amazing. I'll quickly introduce myself and we'll wait for others to trickle in as well. So my name is Hadon Linian and I work with Scale HR as an HR consultant. We also have the wonderful John today from Pivot and Edge. And so I will start off with a brief bio, and I'll also explain how the AirMeet platform works for those who are just joining us and are unfamiliar with the whole process. So first, John has been through a wild journey with recruiting. He's worked in the agency space, in corporate, and he even helped lead a business scale from 170 employees to 530 worldwide in 3 years. Now he's the Chief Talent Officer at Pivot and Edge, a firm that exclusively helps seed and Series A funded startups compete in the war for talent while eschewing all the traditional recruiting processes. So thank you, John, for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, Hadon. So I just hit this. If I want to wow myself, I just hit 7. Cool. That's awesome. So thanks everyone for coming today, and you can be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here. Just quick FYI, I don't have anything to sell. I don't have a deck. This is intended just to be sharing some stories and experience and that kind of stuff. So if you have any questions, don't wait till the end. Just raise the hand, ask the question straight away, and let's make this thing interactive. Couple things. What the hell? Oh yes, Hadon, are you running this or am I? It looks like I'm running this. So number 1, let's start with a poll.
Sorry about that. I thought we agreed it would come on at the start. I didn't mean to startle you, but yes, everyone can vote right now in the poll, and then I'll be hands off. So
okay. Well, you don't have to be hands off, Hadon, but I was just curious if I had to click something here. Number 1 question here. I know it's Thursday. I know I'm in Ottawa here. We got more snow last night. Everyone's sick of winter. We're all dealing with people, which is both amazing and terrible at the same time. The poll question for today, and I know there's only 6 people in the session here right now, but there's more coming in. The poll question to start is, are you exhausted? And the answers are yes, no, and obviously. So Hadon, let's let that run for just a couple minutes, or not a couple minutes, whatever period of time is necessary. And when we have some answers here, let's just share that with folks. Where is everyone? Is everyone Toronto today, or is everyone where's the physical location of people right now?
Well, for myself, since I'm on stage still, I am from Toronto, but there's some comments in the chat for you too, John.
Phoenix, nice. Vancouver, Steve in Vancouver. Deanna, Phoenix. Oh, why are you going to a webinar during vacation, Deanna? That's just horrible. Jeff Waldman is calling from his basement. That sounds like Jeff Waldman. Workation. Deanna, that's a terrible play on words. Like, you should take time off. Do we have some results here, Hadon?
Are you able to see it on stage? No?
No, I can see.
Okay, hold on. Let me hide it and have it reappear. Cool. How about now? No?
I can't, but that's okay. We'll make it work. Oh, here it is. 100% yes. Are you exhausted? And you can kill that now. I don't know if you like. I too am exhausted. And a couple of different stories here. And I don't know if this is just me, but have you ever noticed that when Bobby Smith in Burlington, I grew up not too far from there. Have you ever noticed that when the battery in your smoke alarm dies, it never dies at 2 p.m? It always dies at like 3 a.m. Because that's what happened to me last night. And I tried to get to bed at like 9:30 or whatever because I was done. And wake up at some stupid hour because my fire alarm was going off and there was no fire. But I guess that's a good thing. But I think the solution here is, normally when I change the battery in my smoke alarm, it's on like a Saturday at like 2 p.m. And that's why it always dies at 3 a.m. So I think this time, Friday night, I'm going to wait until 3 a.m. and then put a new battery in. Anyway, appreciate the comical laughs here. So a couple things, kind of in the description of the story thing for the talk track in general. I really believe that recruiting is the best job in the world. I fell backwards into this thing. I think it was 2004. So whatever number of years ago that was. And it's been challenging for everybody for over 2 years now. We kind of went from like the status quo to what are we doing to everyone's busy to pandemic, and then the breaks go on and everyone's freaking out. And then the last 2 years have been just I guess, a roller coaster of mad rush, start, stop, left, right, all that kind of thing. Um, I think I don't think my story is any more unique than anyone else's, but I'll give you a little bit of backstory on the talk track and the title and all that crap. I think who was the one that gave me yeah, Bobby, you're gonna go so my mom died in January of 2020. And that's fine. I'm over it. It's we've dealt with it, all that stuff. She's in a better place. So that was January 2020. And I grew up in Fergus, Ontario, just outside of Waterloo. I'm in Ottawa, so it was a bit of a pain to get there. And there was the pandemic, and there was all that stuff. And my dad was high risk. Anyway, didn't get to see him for a long, long time. I think it was June, or no, it would have been May. My dad's dog, Rebus, she was a chocolate lab, 13 years old. He had to put her down. And then a week later, he had a stroke. And so ultimately, after not seeing my family for like a year, year and a half, all this, Jeff, can I say shit in this, or is it already too late? Anyway, after all this stuff, it was just a lot to deal with on top of the whole recruiting thing and worrying about everyone else's cool. Fergus is not the coolest, Bobby, but I appreciate the prop. But anyways, the whole 6 months of the unknown, all the family drama and that kind of stuff was just brutal to deal with on top of all of the work stuff. And in recruiting, you're not just carrying your emotions, you're carrying your customers' emotions, you're carrying your teammates' emotions, you're carrying your candidates' emotions. It's just a lot to deal with. So ultimately, I went back home. I was able to go home and see my dad once the vaccinations were all sorted out and all that kind of thing. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm 6'7". I'm about 250 pounds. The home I grew up in Fergus, I moved to hell out of Fergus as quick as I could as soon as I hit 18 or whatever. But my dad, and I can't really blame him for it, he didn't change the bed in the room that I grew up in, because why would he? But that bed was a child's bed. It was a 3/4, which is smaller than a double. And again, I'm a gigantic human being. So I went home to take care of my dad and run my business from his front living room. And one of the hardest parts was sleeping in a child's bed as a gigantic human being for a prolonged period of time. So it was a lot of, rolling over, restless nights, that kind of stuff. But eventually I got used to it. I brought my cat Princess home with me as well, because I know my dad was, she's number one, she's my princess, so I'm not going to leave home without her. But number two, I know my dad we always grew up with animals, and he really enjoys the conditional and unconditional love that cats and dogs can provide. But anyway, we were there for, I think it was maybe 3 months or so, 10 weeks, give or take. And at some point I had to go back to Ottawa and live my normal life as well. My brother's a brilliant asshole. He's one of Canada's top lithium ion battery physicists out of Alberta. If you've seen the show Big Bang Theory, he is legitimately Sheldon Cooper in real life. Anyway, there was just a lot of emotional toll of trying to run the business, run the team, take care of family, all that kind of stuff. And so I got back to Ottawa, and literally within 3 weeks, I had to go back. I physically had to go back to take care of him again, because my dad now needed a knee replacement. So it was one of these things where I'm happy to do it. I didn't get to see him for a long, long time. When you look back at your life and you think about what could I have done more of, or do I wish I bought this, or I wish I saw that, family is always at the core of that thing. So I'm not complaining at all about the opportunity to have that time with family at all. But it did require another 6-hour drive with Princess back to Fergus in the winter to then sleep in a child's bed for a prolonged period of time, which is fine. However, it was time to come back to Ottawa again. I found out that my dad, I didn't realize it at the time, because I think I had the rose-colored glasses on or whatever, but he's adopted some really annoying habits as a soon-to-be 74-year-old, and one of them is chewing with his mouth open, and he sounds like a dog when he's eating salad. It's annoying as hell. And I thought maybe I can broach this subject, in a positive way. He's had the stroke. Maybe I can say, Dad, your behavior's a little off. Are you feeling okay? And ultimately, he just basically shared with me, John, I'm 74 in April. I don't even give a shit anymore. So I'm doing what I want. And I thought, okay, Dad, that's great, but I gotta go at some point. And so I just got back to Ottawa 2 weekends ago, and we speak every day. But I get a call from him the one night, 7 o'clock, and he says, John, I'm really considering getting a dog. And I'm thinking, Dad, that's outstanding. That's great. But are you sure you have the energy for a dog? Like, you just had your knee done and stuff. Like, maybe now's not the time. Maybe a cat's a better solution, that kind of stuff. And he says, no, John, it's actually a foster dog. So it's one that, I guess, like a breeder has dogs that they want to breed, but when they're not, I don't know, having babies or whatever, they live with other people and stuff. So it was a good scenario where I think he has the dog maybe 9 months of the year or 6 months of the year. Anyway, he tells me I went online and they have 3 different dogs. They're all labs. 2 of them are chocolate and one of them is red, and they're all beautiful. But I'm really in love with this red lab named Nadine. Now, I don't know about everyone else's relationship with her family growing up, that kind of stuff. I have an older brother, but I am the middle child, if that makes sense. My younger one, didn't make it. But anyway, my parents, my relationship with my parents has always been difficult, but my parents made it very aware, very vivid that they really wanted a daughter, and I, am not. So they told me at a young age and reiterated the message that if I was a girl, my name would have been Aletha Nadine. And that is something that I've carried with me. I'm 42 in May. I've carried that with me for probably 37 years. And I now have my dad telling me, John, I've fallen in love with a red lab named Nadine. And I'm saying to Dad, you can't get a dog named Nadine. And he's saying, why? And I'm reminding him of the emotional toll he's put on me for years and years and years about what my name would have been. Anyway, he laughed about it. I was pissed. He went to go meet the dogs. What day is today? Thursday. On Tuesday, and as it turns out, Nadine and him, they just didn't hit it off. Like, she was just too energetic. She was jumping all over the place. He's, he wants a slower kind of companion dog, and so a third dog named Riona, Riona, a yellow lab, comes out of the woodwork. She'll be 2 in July, and he totally fell in love with Riona, and he's now acquired Riona, and I have been replaced by a dog named Riona. And the best part of the story here is he says to me the other day, oh, by the way, I was wrong about the whole name thing. And I said, well, what do you mean? And he said, Nadine the dog doesn't exist. Her name's actually Naylene. And I thought to myself, okay, this is just more, this is all on me. This is my own emotional weight of the whole situation, the whole burden of the last 2 years. And I was getting upset because my dad, I just spent 6 of the last 7 months sleeping in a child's bed, taking care of my old man, trying to run my recruiting business out of his front living room. And I'm getting upset about not him just getting a dog, but the name of the dog, which is so stupid. And it made me really reflect, we're all sick of being inside. We're sick of being isolated. We're sick of being just pummeled with all the requirements. No one's happy. The fact that there's now a debate online whether or not Calendly is like a societal power play versus a scheduling tool is insane. Like, we are so cooped up in our own nonsense and in a boiler room of just, I get that results need to happen and companies need to hire and we all need to do our job. But the amount of emotional toll that recruiters and HR folks in general have to absorb every single day and have had to, especially in these kind of specific environments over the last 2 years, has been nuts. And so I think the whole idea around, the winter ending and we can get outside and do stuff and see people more actively and all that kind of stuff is a great first step. But my broader concern is the market is upside down. We have every company in the world screaming for people. We have compensation guidelines changing left and right. We've got junior engineers 5 minutes out of school demanding to be paid as if they have 10 years of professional experience. And we haven't even communicated our comp structures internally to make the 10-year person even know why they're getting what they're getting. But the recruiter and the HR person is the person that has to brunt that labor. And so what I've really looked at is realistically, how have I held my stuff together? Like, how am I not nuts? I know I'm already bald, but like, how have I not lost my marbles already? And I think some of the little things, I know there's another session going on right now about meditation. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a meditationist or a yogaist or whatever those terms are. But I think looking back at what I feel I've done that has helped me retain my sanity and helped me retain kind of my discourse over these 2 years during an immense amount of stress is really just trying to stay level. And part of it is not part of it's not healthy, part of it is healthy. I think like there's certainly times where I just want to shut down my email. Like after 6, I just don't reply to email. There's times where on the weekend I just don't want to go on the internet. There's times where all I want to do is eat McDonald's and just relax on the couch and do nothing. But I think the biggest thing that I've really come to appreciate is the whole idea of in this market during this time period, there's always going to be more work. There's always going to be more people that want more stuff. There's always going to be more to do. And for me, it's really been more around accepting that I can't do everything and I can't be everything to everyone. Um, have my email response times faltered? Absolutely, yes. Has the quality of my life decreased? Absolutely not. And there has been periods of time where I would just burn the candle on both ends and work till 10 or 11 or midnight just to get that inbox down to zero and get that last note out or that last thing documented, that kind of stuff. And over the last 6 months, I've just said forget it. Like in comparison to taking care of family and taking care of myself, email doesn't matter. Like LinkedIn responses within 24 hours don't matter. Pushing back jerk hiring managers that say this is the perfect candidate, but I need 3 more before I can make a decision. They don't matter. Like pushing people back and really trying to get in the head of what is the healthiest thing for me in this moment has been, I think, the biggest thing that I've done that has helped me keep my sanity. But at the same time, another thing to keep note of, we're all exhausted. Job seekers, potential hires, they're just as exhausted. They're still working in the same stresses. They're still getting pummeled with information from all sorts of recruiters. They're still, getting all the stresses of my company now wants me to return back to work. I've gotten accustomed to working from home. Why don't they trust me anymore? All that kind of stuff. Everyone is exhausted and probably will be for at least another 6 months until we can actually get some sort of sense of normalcy back and really, get people back into the idea that we are all putting the pedal down just to survive for a long time during the pandemic, but we're not going to get out of this thing unless we actually respect each other and do what we need to do in a healthy way. So the whole title of the talk track, yeah, I've been replaced by a dog. I was initially pissed off by that because I feel like I gave up a lot to take care of someone else, not realizing that I was only one half of the equation. The emotional toll that the pandemic has taken on everyone is significant. Recruiters specifically, I feel that we see the best and the worst in people in business, but we can't be everything to everyone. So the idea of trying to be perfect, I used to do that. I used to live that for years, and it's just impossible. So for me, it's been more about kind of setting boundaries for myself and accepting that I'm not going to get every email out and every LinkedIn message out. And there's going to be a delay in some stuff because at the end of the day, you need your sleep, you need your food, you need your water, all that kind of stuff. So my big message here, and hopefully this resonates with some folks, is just take care of yourself because we're not out of this thing yet. It's been 2 years. It's probably going to be another year before we get back to some normalcy. So just take care of yourself. I hope I didn't just make everyone down. There hasn't been any smiley faces for a while. Hadon, can you come rescue me?
Hey, am I visible? Okay,
You're
awesome.
visible.
Okay, cool. No. I found myself as you were speaking, like just nodding and nodding and nodding, like yes to this, yes to that. And you're right, like we're all absolutely exhausted. And thank you for sharing such a personal story as well, because I think that's the reality of what we've all been through these past 2 years. And it's wild to think like it's been 2 years already, right? Bobby made such a great point, which is while the pandemic has felt inhumane, it has also allowed us to be more human.
Absolutely. Bobby, that's brilliant.
Mhm.
And I need to apologize. I was getting on your case about your work vacation, workation, whatever you do with your time. It's your choice. I don't want to judge on that. I know I did judge, but I shouldn't have.
Yeah. And then it's just us all trying to figure out like what works for us, right? But um, I also wanted to ask you, in regards to what you were sharing earlier, is that you realize that this like need to be super responsive and inbox zero and just burn the candle on both ends. So what are you doing now then? And of course, you may not have all the answers now. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone has all the answers now. I'm just curious, through that time and just being gentle with yourself. What have you been doing now?
So in the past, I would wake up and the first thing I would do would be to clear up my email. Um, and if that meant that I had to be late for like a daily stand up with the team, then I was late and they waited for me because they knew I was checking my email. And then I thought to myself, well, how much of my email actually requires a response? And so I let it run for a week. And I did the triaging, like the sorry, Jeff, I didn't reply to your email. I know you didn't make the triage list, sorry. But for the people that were absolutely screaming, or like my dad, for example, I would filter out my dad. I would filter out for this and that and the next thing. Anything that I knew needed my attention, I would filter for that. But everything else, I let it run, and I just started copying my teammates, or at least one of my teammates, on all my outbound message. And I also gave my second in command access to my email as well. So she has the whole. If she wants to know what my cell phone bill is, she has access to it if she wants it. Um, and what I just said to her is, I know I'm falling behind, but I just want to. I need to find some sort of mental health center here, and keeping inbox zero is not the answer. So, do you mind just having it there? And if you see something that absolutely needs my attention, tell me. But otherwise, I'll coach my customers to know that they can't just expect me to show up on an email within 10 minutes. But if they copy this person who's been carried through the whole chain, they will take care of it. So part of it was delegating. But at the beginning, it was about getting the data points. If I get right now, I'm getting about 400 to 600 emails a day. And of those 400 to 600, there's probably 10 that require my attention, which means I've got a really bad filtering problem. But I needed that data to figure out if I just go on vacation for a week, how many emails am I going to miss? And the answer is almost none, in the broad scheme of things. So part of it was getting some data around, am I comfortable even setting up this system to know how bad the problem would be if I ran it. Part of it was coaching the customers to not just rely on me. So, if you have a question, if you want to add another rec, you want to put an offer out, whatever, don't rely on me, rely on the team. And part of it was really enabling the team to take more ownership of, I don't care if someone wants to take $12 and buy cupcakes for a customer. I don't need that email. Like, just do it. Like, part of it is enabling people to be able to have the decision-making authority that I shouldn't have to give them, sort of thing. If it costs less than $100 to make a customer happy, you don't need my permission, period. And it took a couple weeks for them to actually believe that, because people are curious and that kind of stuff. But starting out the day previously was all about me. It was all about email. It was all about customer. And the day has become all about customer, all about team, triage, focus, and time box. So once that clock hits 5, my computer is shut, period. I don't check email after 5. Even on my phone, I don't check email after 5. Now my inbox zero went from 0 to I think before. Well, I'm not going to check right now, but before we jumped on Hedon, it was like 3,200.
Oh my gosh.
But I know of those 3,200, there's probably 50 emails that need my attention, and my team's taking care of 45.
Yeah.
So letting go of that in exchange for, once the day's over, I've been talking to this green light of love for 9 hours straight. I'm going outside.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Wait, so how do you start your morning now? Do you still check your email first thing in the morning, or
Nope.
no?
First thing I do is check LinkedIn.
Okay.
Then I'm in with my team.
Mm,
Where are we at? What have I missed? What do
yeah.
you need my attention for? What's in your way?
Hmm.
Then I triage. I have about half an hour to triage email,
Right.
and then I'm in my meetings. And during the day, I hear the ding.
Hmm.
Someone needs you. Someone needs you. Someone needs you.
Yeah.
But the team now knows that if they need me, they Slack me or text me, and bam, it's done.
Got it.
But giving up the need to respond to each and every stupid email that does not need response. Like, I know it's now, digital communication has become like a natural thing for us because we can't just go down the hallway and say, hey, what's up? But I find that there's even different mindsets about what is polite and what is rude in email. Like, well, if you ask me 4 questions, I'm going to give you an email back with responses in line. Yes, purple rabbit 17. That's just,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to be direct. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So I found that has really helped as well. But I probably spent 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day on email before. Now I'm probably half an hour.
Wow. No, that's impressive. That's a drastic reduction, and then kudos to you for leaning on your team as well, and helping them feel that autonomy to make those decisions too.
I think so. So appreciate the commentary on the autonomy. I think the I don't think I should be celebrated on the one, because I also know that I just created a new monster for someone else to deal with. So, I know personally, I'm in meetings. I have 12, 16 meetings a day. I just don't have the bandwidth to do it.
Yeah.
And saying, here, can you monitor my inbox? And there's 600 a day. I
Mm.
know that creates stress for other people, but I also know that Rebecca has, she's a wonderkind or wonderkind.
I don't
Anyways,
know how to pronounce it either.
she's great with filters. So like the first day, she's like, "Holy crap! I can't believe you do this every day." And then 3 days later, she had created automated filter city. So
Okay.
I know I created stress for her, but I also know that she solved the problem in a hurry, and I also trust her with my life. So
No, and that's part of it too, is finding the people that you can trust, right? And being honest,
100%.
you know, your limitations and your ability. I just wanted to point out in the chat as well. Oh wait, there's actually a Q&A question. So let me
Sure.
pull that up. Oh my gosh. For some levity, John. Can you see it, John?
Yeah, I can, Jeff, because you didn't make the triage list. And if you really need me, to hit me on LinkedIn and I respond within 10 minutes.
It is so true. Jeff is like, oh yeah, John and I have talking on LinkedIn. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Can you just copy paste what I need to know?
Sorry, Jeff, wasn't personal.
All good. No, definitely not personal. And I think Bobby brought up a really good comment as well, just here, which echoes what you said earlier, which is just because someone sends us an email doesn't mean it adds value to anything.
I think the whole, Bobby, I could not agree more with you. I think we all say this. I think we all value our own existence much more so than is necessarily warranted to the other party. So just because I send an email, it doesn't mean I'm warranted a response within an hour. We may want the response, but the other party may not feel that way. Even how we communicate, like lots of people, send novels of emails. Here's the backstory, the context, how I feel, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like a 3-scroll thing just to find out, can we meet tomorrow at noon? I don't read that. Like most people don't read that. So like, I think the way we communicate is the way we communicate. But if we have insight on how the other party communicates and what's their best kind of mechanism as well, is really important. I do feel that since we've been inside and we've been limited to digital, now we're worried about booking a Zoom or a Google Meets or whatever. we used to be able to just knock on someone's door. Hey, where are we at with this thing? And we just don't have that water cooler opportunity anymore. But just because we have something to say, it doesn't mean that the other party agrees or needs to acknowledge.
Yeah, there's just so much demand on our attention.
Yeah,
It's just with the volume that's coming in, right? It's not always possible.
it's nuts. And I should add as well. So we experimented with TikTok.
Oh yeah, how is that?
You and I were joking about TikTok years ago.
Yeah.
But one of our Michaela, she's outstanding. One of our marketers, she back I think it was end of January or early February, had this concept. We really need to be on TikTok, and so we were like, go for it, do it. And I think what did we say? We're the 31st. So like 2 months later, we have 26,000 followers on TikTok.
Oh no way!
And I think it was 26,000 followers, something like 400,000 engagement points, and all of our social channels have blown up as a result. And so the volume of everything, it went from I did another speaking gig earlier today, and they were asking about, what are the success metrics associated with TikTok to your follower growth on LinkedIn? And the answer is I don't know. It's the dark funnel. I know that high tides raise all boats. We went from 0 to 26,000 in 2 months, and all of our channels blew up, and my email blew up. So, and even the candidate volume, the candidate flow, the prospects coming in the funnel, everything. So like looking at the different channels that are out there, if we're stuck right now in the mindset of just LinkedIn and email, there's other channels out there, and when you have success in those channels, everything else blows up too. So it's really nuts.
Yeah. Oh, incredible! Like congratulations to you and Michaela and the team for.
I have nothing to do with it. It's Michaela and Taryn and Rebecca and the rest. Like I think I've been in 2 videos, but I have nothing to do with the TikTok. That's all my team. They're brilliant.
Were you like dancing in them or like lip syncing? Lip syncing along to a song or something?
No, 2 things to note. No, I have not danced in any TikToks, and 2, if I were to dance, I would be like a wounded gazelle that no one wants to see. So I am not coordinated in any way, shape, or form. The approach Michaela's kind of centered the team around is to educate and entertain. So it's more around hiring tips, career tips, hiring fails, that kind of stuff. But there has been no dancing.
No dancing?
No.
Oh. Well, it's just an idea to put out there. You might see your inbox like burst.
I'm big on peer pressure. So if you wanna peer pressure the team, you're welcome to. But I will not be. I don't even. No. I would be pointing. I would be like finger
pointing. Yeah, just show off those like millennial dance moves or Gen X. I don't know which generational cohort you're in, but
I'm 42 in May, so I think I'm slightly too old to be a millennial, but I'm young enough to appreciate the millennial mindset, I think.
Good answer. Good answer. Bobby's just like killing it with the comments right now. I love it. Okay.
Bobby, where are you?
Bobby, Bobby, do you want to come on stage?
Yeah.
And just chat with John?
Communications professional in Burlington. It's like when musicians play a top album, everyone go. Where'd it go?
Oh, sorry. Go here. It's like when musicians put out a top album, everyone gets back to the albums from before, and all gets leveraged.
Exactly.
That's such a communications answer. Love it.
Bobby.
Yeah. 100%.
How much time do we have left?
We have 5 minutes.
Bobby, come on stage. Let's talk Burlington. Do they still have Big Bucks Mountain Lodge?
I don't know what that is. Last question. Well, we don't have to peer pressure Bobby. We're not going to make you dance or do any lip syncing or any memes. But Jeff asked this question in between, which is, I'm a big fan of leveraging and optimizing collaboration tools such as Slack, Google Chat, etc. ... How do you use these tools effectively so communication is not overly daunting? Have you found any success with that, John?
I have. Jeff, I will answer your question. Hadon, Bobby is asking how to get on stage, so figure that
Okay,
out.
I will get you on stage. So, Bobby, if you raise your hand on the module, you'll be able to join us on stage.
Jeff, I'm a big fan of these as well. I'm also a big fan of muting notifications that don't matter. So for Slack specifically, we have that tied into monday.com. We have it tied into, I forget. Slack is tied into a number of things, but Monday is our kind of project management hub that everything runs from. There's a lot of channels the team has created. We have a channel called cats. We have a channel called dogs. We have a channel for everything. There's one about the Bachelor TV show. If there's anything in there that is just not worth my time, like from a distraction point of view, I mute the notifications. If it's something where it's a customer channel, then I do not mute those notifications. I want those straight away. So we've queued up monday.com to sync in with Slack. Within Monday, we've Rebecca. She's brilliant on the PM side of things. Well, she's brilliant, but she's really also brilliant with Monday. But she's automated a ton of this stuff just so I get the least number of notifications possible for all the stuff that I need. How's everyone feeling?
You can react with the emojis, which are all positive. So if you don't feel that great, and you're feeling exhausted, feel free to put that in the chat as well.
Jeff's feeling fantastic.
Yeah, because he's not the one answering emails right now, right? He's doing the happy dance right now. Would you like to come on stage, Jeff, and show us your
Jeff should do that. Jeff, we would love to have you on our TikTok.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, he's going to do it. Nice.
Well, I mean, I have to, I mean, this is our fourth social HR camp that we've done virtually. And it's going to be our last one because I think people are just tired of staring into a camera all day.
Yep.
So I fully recognize that. So anyway, yeah, but no, I think today was good, but I am very biased. So there you go.
Jeff, are the kids back in school now? Or are you still?
No. They're all back in school now. They've been back in school for a while. The mask mandates have been dropped. So people have, obviously choice as to what they want to do. And so, of course, my kid basically did like a mask burning ceremony. Yeah, so no, I mean, things I think, are much better, just because, when they're here and, my boys don't learn very well just sitting here looking into a camera. So
right.
I know some kids do fine in that, type of environment, but I guess it's sort of depends. It makes it really hard for parents to be able to focus and actually, do work, right? When you have to support them with their online learning, and then you have to deal with them coming down here all the time and jumping on you and stuff. And anyway, I mean, it's sort of, so I think now it's sort of back to a new normal. Hopefully it stays that way.
So big props to all the parents, especially in the HR world, that have had to deal with, being the HR for everybody else and being the teachers and the babysitters and the cooks and the chefs and all that stuff. I props off, hat, whatever. Like, good for you.
Yeah, I mean I've always had a deep appreciation for teachers. I was married to one at one point, and they don't get enough credit, obviously, and it's a very political, environment in public teaching here in Canada, anyways. And but the amount of skill that they have to be able to take children, a group of 25 to 30 kids, through a curriculum, and all of them have the different learning needs and so on.
Yes.
It's just, we take it for granted. I mean, I can't even control my 3 boys and just get them to focus on the schoolwork, let alone 28 kids in a room. Anyway, so To get past your filtering guru. Yeah. So I mean, I think obviously we are in a new normal, which is basically, I think, is constantly changing. It's always changing, so we always have to adapt. And I think being agile is probably the best way to talk about that.
Bobby, what does that even mean? A filtering guru? What is that?
Wasn't it Rebecca you were talking about? That like filter.
Yeah, for my email. Okay, so when I email you, I need a code word to get past your filtering guru. Bobby, just hit me on LinkedIn. Okay.
I know, or TikTok.
Don't know. It's not. It's the company. You'll never get me on TikTok. It's the company. But Bobby, hit me on LinkedIn.